Hi everyone, and welcome to the Effective Learner Discussion Panel. I am currently on annual leave visiting Cambodia, and as it was a birthday present, I could hardly refuse. So unfortunately, it means that I am unable to be with you today. Have you heard of the concept of the independent learner? It is not new, it has become increasingly important within the education sector. But what does it mean to be an independent learner? And have you noticed that there is no consistency in defining what it is, and expressions such as self-regulated, independent, and lifelong learner are all interchangeable? The main issue with the concept of independent learner is that it implies isolation. McGillis in 2010 even identified the link between the concept of the independent learner and student anxiety and progression issues. This is the reason why we decided to discuss the effective learner instead. After all, learning is not only a cognitive activity, explained Hilairis. It is also an emotional and social activity. Aristotle would agree, man is by nature a social animal. Do we define education as a social process? Learning is defined as a process of gaining knowledge and skills through studying. So it is an activity of construction of knowledge. Our ability to learn, however, depends on several factors. Intrinsic ones, such as our motivation and confidence levels. Extrinsic ones, for instance, our social and cultural backgrounds, and an array of other factors, for instance, whether we are employed or unemployed, and what kind of resources and support we have access to. Daniel Susskind has compared our conception of learning to a capital investment, an activity we would engage with at the beginning of our life and forget about once we get a job. A bit like our parents and grandparents used to. But this has to change, he explains. Why? Well, because the world has changed. Digital technologies are now part of our lives and they're not going away. So it is really time for us to make the most of them, to really enhance teaching, learning, and assessment. We have entered the fourth industrial revolution, and the digital revolution has already displaced skills, and the process will continue. Change is our constant state, while upskilling and reskilling is our journey ahead. We tend to teach the way we were taught and the way we have taught in the past, assuming learners will be engaged in the way we once were. While the old techniques may work for knowledge and skills to stick enough to pass an exam, does it really prepare our learners to live, work, and study in a digital society? The responsibility of all of us working in education is to equip learners with the knowledge and skills they need to secure a place at a university, start an apprenticeship, or find a job. The purpose of education is, of course, far broader. Our role is not only to make knowledge and skills stick, but most importantly, it is to nurture the development of independent thinkers, whatever their age may be. There are no barriers to access information in our current society. Technological advances, and more specifically the internet, facilitate a shift from thinking of teaching as providing information to thinking of learning and creating learning environments. This, in turn, creates a relationship shift between teachers and learners, as a teacher is no longer the information holder, or at least the sole information holder, and instead it promotes an evolution towards inquiry-based learning and towards the development of a learner-centered environment. So while pedagogy is teacher-led, andragogy is self-directed learning, and students in such environments use a teacher as a mentor or guide. Knowles explains that adults are motivated by self-actualization. Still, they aim to find solutions to the teacher's task independently. Eutagogy takes a very different approach. It is about the management of learning for self-managed learner. Eutagogy requires the most student maturity and the smallest amount of instructor control. Pedagogy is at the other end of the spectrum. So what skills and mindset do we need to become an effective learner today? And how does the passive consumer of learning become an active and effective learner? Well, I'll leave it to the panel to discuss this. Everyone, thank you very much for joining this session, and goodbye.